Hello everybody, how are you doing? Today I want you to talk about adjectives. And the very first topic about adjectives I want to dedicate to the orders of the adjectives in the text. I know that I think that you are faced with this topic, but um, I want to make more complex and more um, classified this work to understand. I use, you know that adjectives in English they have to be to follow some special order of the um, of the type of adjectives. When I'm talking about adjectives, I mean epithets. In Russian, it sounds like определение. And so our topic is adjectives, adjectives order in the sentences, in the sentences, order in the sentences. Mm, okay, for example, where you're Soviet students, you would know uh, the poem about Lenin's museum, the Lenin's museum, and there were a phrase in Russian. It sounds like: "Вот через площадь мы идем и видим там-то-то большой красивый красный дом, похожий на дворец." Very good example to go into the topic order of the adjectives. In Russian, большой, большой, красивый, 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 красный, красный дом, похожий на дворец, похожий на дворец, дворец. Да, мы видим, да, мы видим, мы видим, мы видим. Мгм. То есть we see. If you don't mind, I use here instead of big, huge, because big it is an extension about among adjectives, so I use huge, huge, nice, if you don't mind, red, похожий на дворец, palace-like, palace-like, house, house. Huge. We can use here big. More elementary, adjective big. Here we have at least one mistake, because nice is an uh, um, adjective for opinion, opinion. Since that, it should be at the very first position here, so it should be we see nice. Oh, here huge, huge. I'm sorry for this article here. We see a nice, huge, red, palace-like house. At least one we have mistake here in the previous situation, so it is incorrect, here correct phrase, correct. So in the very first position we have to put an opinion, opinion, an opinion, adjective then size, color, um, and here we have very special type. It sounds like context type adjective, palace like. So here we face the situation when we use more than one adjectives and we have to follow very special order in the sentences. Uh, in English they have uh, at least 11 types of adjectives. The first one is superlative adjective, and superlative, you remember that it sounds like the best, the most, mm, expensive, for example, or no, superlative, превосходная степень. This next one, an adjective for opinion, and we have at least 9 types of other adjectives, and they have to follow special order. If you mix this or switch this order, you will sound a little bit unnatural. And native speakers, they identify you. Will identify you as non-native anyway. If you even have very good pronunciation, it sounds very little bit weird if you switch them. Sometimes you can face more complicated situation because if you change the places or the adjectives, if you switch them, they change their sense and they can have different meaning. I'll show you uh, I will show you an example. So you have to check the meaning of the adjective depending on the place in this adjective chain. And about big, here I put a huge instead of big because big has some extension. Not kind of it has, but it is an extension. So I say this rule. Uh, I made it up on my own. Spas. I put here dot com и т.п. т.п. it's Russian way. т.п. и тому подобное. Spas.com и т.п. I say the mnemonic rule, a thumb rule, a mnemonic rule to memorize the order of types of adjectives. You can use thumb rule. It's like a phenomenological rule based on your experience. Mnemonic rule. And now I want to introduce you this Spascom itp itp rule. How to use this rule. If you don't mind. So, if we have a noun, a noun I put here a table, try to make a table here, develop a table. Так, spas.com itp rule. If you don't like this rule, you can make up your own rule. Spacecom itp. I think it's very easy to memorize. Spacecom, it sounds like the domain or the site, and since that itp, we are very often say itp in Russian и тому подобное. Okay, so here we have noun, a noun, noun, noun. Mhm. The very last column, it is size, numerical size, we don't I don't want to touch this topic, by the way. No. The very first column, how to use noun in sentences. The very first column, I put here like functional words. Here we can put the article a, an, or we can use possessive forms of nouns or pronouns. I mean, if you use noun, you can say my, um, several, for example, several people, several houses, or you can use I don't know, 10 people, or no, something, or you can use articles there, and something else. Here you have a superlative adjective. Adjective. So if you use the superlative adjectives, с превосходной степени, the best, the worst, the what else? I don't know, even the most expensive, the cheapest. You have to put it at the very beginning. For example, cheapest, самый дешевый, the best, the worst. Next one, position, adjective for opinion. It's your opinion. Nice, handsome, gorgeous, ugly, good, bad. Everything that you can express your own attitude towards the subject or your own stance on situation. То есть первый, так, у нас идет функциональное слово, идут прилагательные превосходной степени, то есть их нельзя совать где-то вот между ними или там в конце они как бы идут первые. Потом идет позиция для прилагательных вашего мнения. И вот дальше начинается and then you have 9 types of fact adjectives, so-called fact adjectives. You have 9 positions here. I try to make 9 columns. I can fail you to construct them, but I try. Good for me. 9 different positions. Так, сегодня мы говорим о порядке прилагательных, то есть необходимо следовать вот этому порядку прилагательных. Я уже говорил о том, что если мы его не следуем, то мы можем, ну, во-первых, это будет звучать немножко странно для носителя. И во-вторых, я, может быть, говорил, по-моему, я сказал об этом, что sometimes if you replace the adjectives, they change their meaning, depending on the place in this order. I'll give you maybe one example here, I don't know. But sometimes I'm not very expert in adjectives too. Okay. Okay, we have 9 positions. So the first one, it is size. Size. Then so-called physical physical property I put here. Qualitative property. Okay, physical property. Age, age, um, age, shape, shape, color, color, origin, origin, material, material. I put here like context, context, type, or type of context, a context type adjective, and here purpose, purpose. Here we have the very last numerical size. Sometimes we have to use the adjectives or epithet about length or height or wide. Is it wide or not? Here, for example, we can put 10 meters high or 3 meters deep. 3 метра глубиной, да, допустим. Or 1 meters, I'm sorry, 1 meter wide. Or, for example, 10 feet long. Okay. So that is not a point of our today discussion. We have to go into these fact adjectives. So I put here double line, double line to separate from the first group. For example, size, you can put here big, small, for example, tall, tiny, thick, slender, and meter, for example. You don't use this height or deep. Narrow, for example, narrow, wide, middle, etc. So all about size. But I said before that big, it is an extension, and big you can, in some ways of English, for example, I don't know, remember exactly, but for example, maybe for Australian English or for some others, they sometimes switch size big with adjective for opinion. То есть я хочу сказать, что big это какое-то такое исключение, что в некоторых английских он меняется местами с прилагательными мнения. поэтому я немножко его не использовал в примере. То есть, но поэтому можно, конечно, его, ну как бы это надо помнить, что иногда мнение и size, вот когда вы говорите big, они меняются местами. Поэтому можно использовать, допустим, huge, you can use huge, enormous, or other examples. Огромный. Ну, правда, enormous is not very close synonym of the big, but you can use sometimes. Next one, physical property. Physical property. By the way, I didn't say. If you take into account these first letters, size, physical properties, age, shape, color, origin, materials, context type, I use here T, not context, and purpose. You can have these spas.com etc rule. So sp spas dot color origin material com type of context, you can say, and purpose. So we can have, if you take the first letters, you have an anagram spas. I separated here with dot. It makes easier to memorize. Com, because com very often we can use in itp, we say it. So we have good formula for memorizing this order of the adjectives. What else we have here? Physical properties. Cold, hot. What else we have? Uneven. Here we have the meaning gritty, шероховатый, gritty. What else we have? Smooth, maybe. Acute, острый. Obtuse, тупой наоборот. Ну, okay. No, age. It's clear that it's about old, young, antique, modern, underage, for example, adult, okay. Shape, round, quadratic, triangular, volume, объемный, да, означает, cubic, circuit, spherical, multi, surfaces, surface. And color, it's clear, it is about red, blue, a lot of reddish, for example, красноватый, да, bluish, yellowish. What else we can use? But here you can have transparent, for example, прозрачный, да, transparent, and even you can use plain, for example, plain, как бы простой, что ли, вот такой вот однотонный. И applied, for example, насколько я помню, as I remember, it is applied, это как клетчатый, что ли, stripped, полосатый. What else? opaque, opaque, непрозрачный наоборот. Even dirty, грязный тоже сюда же. Filthy, очень грязный, да. So, it's clear. Extraterrestrial origin, неземной, да, for example, extraterrestrial. Terrestrial, земной, происхождение, origin. Terrestrial. English, английский, Russian, etc. Materials, it's clear, I think, like wood, lumber, I mean, древесный wood, тоже древесный, brass, латунный или там lead, этот бронзовый, lead, свинцовый, по-моему, lead. Так, что еще? Stain steel. Это вот нержавейка, да? A lot of materials. Clay, да, глиняный или там пластилиновый какой-нибудь. Flint, кремниевый, да, flint. Ну, every material. Context type I want to drop for a while and purpose. Surgical, for example. Surgical, да. Например, surgical operation, да. A surgical operation какая-нибудь, хирургическая операция. Medical, cooking, для приготовки, я не знаю, I don't know even. Gluing, for example, для склеивания, да. Here we have purpose, very often we have ing, participles as when we use them as a epithet. So it's clear that here we put adjectives about their with purpose meaning. And the context type, this is a very interesting type. I want to make, so for example, some examples firstly. For example, a palace-like, да, palace-like, we have похожий на что-то, да. So something, I put here n, like something, for example, rabbit-like, похожий на кролика, да, там, his behavior is rabbit-like, or rabbit-like behavior, for example. It's like a little bit a sexual hint here. Maybe, no, and you can use any nouns here. What else? And shape, for example. Shaped. То есть форма как у чего-нибудь, допустим, triangular shape you can put here. You can say that it's very close to shape, but yes, it's close, but sometimes you can underline some special peculiarities in shape if you are talking about shape. For example, human shape. Human shape, you mean here something that has shape as a human. What else? Some shiny like something, and shiny, I don't know, sunshiny, I mean, светящийся как солнце, или, например, flame shining, как пламя, да, какое-то. And used, используемый как что-то. Very close to the purpose, but you can, it has some aspects here. You are talking about something that you can use as, for example, some other subject. Knife used, как используемый как нож, например. Да? What else? And smelling, for example. And smelling, for example, and tasting, имеющий вкус как что-то, имеющий запах как что-то. Например, wine smelling drink, то есть там пахнущий как вино что-то. So here, as a bottom line of this lecture, you can have here the mnemonic rule of the orders for orders of the adjectives. And so, if you use a noun here, this noun here, around this noun, you can have at least you can have 9 fact adjectives before, and the order is following the SPASCOM ITP formula and TP formula. ITP. I say it in Russian way because it's easier to memorize. And TP, I know. Before these 9 adjectives for facts, you can use opinion, a superlative, and functional words. Ну и так, как в качестве такого итога. Когда вы используете прилагательные, у вас есть 9 прилагательных, описывающих фактическую ситуацию. Перед ним вы ставите прилагательное с вашим мнением, и перед ним идет superlative, то есть прилагательное превосходной степени. Ну и уже самое первое, это служебное слово. Либо артикль, либо какой-то показатель принадлежности кому-то, ну или там несколько человек, там, да, ну вот что-то все вот такое, все, что мы можем сказать как функциональное слово. I didn't mention one thing here. You can have notice here very interesting example, uneven here. You can, if it is like physical property, it means шероховатый and uneven as a shape. I even didn't put here uneven here. For example, it works like бесформенный. То есть между, если if between physical you can put old uneven something, it means старый бесформенный что-то. If you put uneven old something, you mean шероховатый старый чего-то. То есть you can see, even if you are following from this example, you can notice that even here you can notice the changing of the meaning of the adjective. То есть, если вы даже на этом небольшом примере вы можете заметить, что on the basis of this easy example, you can notice that even adjectives can change their meaning. То есть даже здесь вы можете заметить, что вот тот же прилагательный и принимает разное значение в зависимости от места предложения, да? То есть старый больной, старый шероховатый или старый бесформенный или шероховатый старый, это немножко разные значения. И с такой штукой вы можете столкнуться довольно часто. Итак, as a bottom line here, you have here the order of the adjectives in the sentences, and I provide you with some easy examples. You can fulfill them at home. That is your like a home assignment, and I provide you with a special table like this one, but here you can see that this table is a little bit rough. I developed specially for you a table um, in Word, and I provide you with Word table and PDF table. Mhm. Okay, see you later. I'm very glad that I'm happy that we start our work today, and I hope that we can fulfill our course with great level of success. We can succeed in our course. Okay, bye bye. See you later.